Have you ever noticed something kind of weird about the English language? It feels like there's this secret system, right? A hidden set of rules just humming away beneath the surface. Well, today we're going to crack that code together.
Just take a look at this sentence. He is best known for his record, Alabama Blues, which he recorded in 1954. Hold on a sec. Did you hear that? I just used the same word, spelled exactly the same, but I said it two totally different ways. Record and record.
You've got the same letters in the same order, but they're acting like completely different words. They even sound different. So what's going on here? How is that even possible? Let's figure it out.
All right, so that difference between record and record, it's not just some random one-off thing. Nope, it's actually a really cool pattern, and it reveals one of the most fundamental secrets about how English actually works.
Okay, let's break this down. When I say, I'm going to buy his new record, see how the punch, what we call the stress, is on that first part, the re? That makes it a noun, a thing you can hold. But if I say, let's record a new song, the stress just slides over to that second part, the chord. And now it's a verb, it's an action. You can really hear that difference, can't you?
And it's not a fluke. It happens with other words too. Think about it. You get a present for your birthday. That's a noun, a thing. But you present your ideas at a meeting. That's a verb, an action. So we're definitely onto a hidden rule here.
And that hidden rule, that simple little shift in where you put the emphasis, that's our first major clue. It's a concept called syllable stress, and it's the key that's going to start unlocking this whole puzzle for us.
So what is syllable stress really? Well, think of it like the heartbeat of a word. In any word that has multiple parts or syllables, we just don't say them all with equal energy. We give one of them a little extra oomph. We say it louder, hold it a tiny bit longer, and give it more force.
And just like that, we've cracked the first part of the code. For a whole bunch of two-syllable words in English, if the stress is on the first syllable, it's a noun. If the stress is on the second, it becomes a verb. See? It's not random at all. It's a system. But here's where it gets really interesting. Figuring out where the stress is actually points us to an even deeper secret. It's not just about the loud syllables, it's all about what happens to the vowels in the quiet ones. Okay, so we've established that stress is like a spotlight. It shines down on one syllable, making it the star of the show. It's the loudest, clearest, and longest part of the word.
But that begs a pretty big question, right? What about the other syllables? You know, the ones that aren't in the spotlight. What happens to their vowel sounds when they're just chilling in the background?
The answer to that question, my friends, is our second and honestly our most important clue for cracking this code. It's a sound that's so incredibly common it's almost invisible, and it has a name. The schwa.
The schwa is basically the sound a vowel makes when it gets lazy. It's that super weak, neutral sound, and it's represented by this little symbol here, When a syllable isn't getting any stress, its vowel often just relaxes into this default sound. And get this, it is by far the most common sound in the entire English language. Wild, right?
And here's the schwa's real superpower. Any vowel, A, E, I, O, U, it doesn't matter, can make this exact same lazy sound. Just listen. The A in about, the E in enemy, the O in person. They're all different letters on the page, but they collapse into that exact same weak sound. Why? Because they're in an unstressed syllable. And this is why English spelling can feel so maddening sometimes. You see one letter, but you hear a totally different sound. But once you know about the schwa, it stops being a problem and it becomes a tool. It's your secret decoder ring for becoming a much more flexible and intuitive reader.
So let's put our two clues together, syllable stress and the schwa sound. With these two in our back pocket, we can build a really practical strategy for decoding pretty much any tricky word that gets thrown your way.
Here it is, a simple four-step strategy. First, check the context of the sentence. Is the word a thing or an action? That helps a ton. Second, look for chunks you already know, like prefixes or suffixes. Third, try to break the word up into its syllables. And finally, and this is the magic step, be flexible. Try stressing different syllables, and always, always remember that any of those unstressed vowels might just be that sneaky little schwa sound.
All right, time to put this new strategy to the test.
Let's take a word that can really trip people up if they're not careful. The name of a place. Delaware.
Now, if you try to pronounce every single vowel perfectly, you might say something like Delaware, which, just doesn't sound right. But let's use our new superpower. Let's be flexible. What if we try stressing the first syllable, del? Now, what happens to that A in the middle syllable? It's unstressed, so it gets lazy. It turns into a schwa, del-aware, del-aware. And boom, there it is, a word we all recognize instantly. And there you have it. What seemed like a random quirk is actually this beautiful hidden system. Syllable stress and the schwa, they are constantly at work, all around you, shaping the rhythm and the sound of every single word you hear and speak.
So you've cracked the code. You're in on the secret now. You have the key to hearing English in a completely new way. So my question to you is this. Now that you know its secret, where are you going to hear the schwa next? Listen for it. In amazing, in photography, in banana. I promise, now that you know what to listen for, you're going to hear it absolutely everywhere.